All right. What else was I doing here? Okay, speaking of pro sports, something we've been talking about here lately, your obsession, fascination with these off-brand bull ropings and car racing deals.
It's not obsession. It's what's on. What do you think's on right now? Because right now, as we're recording, it's the usual time. What do you think's on in the time slot where we've had rodeo and calf roping? We've had dirt racing. And apparently there's been other rodeo-themed events in that time slot. What do you think's on right now? And WNBA.
I was about to say, in WNBA, had that. Now it is the International Ping Pong Championships from Taiwan.
It is the SailGP Racing United States Sail Grand Prix, New York. From Governor's Island in New York.
What are they? Are they racing? They're selling. It's a sail.
It's a sail. They're on a boat. It's a.
They're sailboating.
Right now in first place, it's Emirates GBR, followed by Rockwool Den and Australia. In fourth place, Canada, followed by New Zealand, Switzerland, Spain, Germany, France. In last place, USA.
See, you rattled off a bunch of random sounds and some countries there.
Before you had a chance to insult every one of them, yes.
Yeah.
They're in the dirty waters right now off Manhattan.
In the dirty waters?
I mean, the water looks filthy as they're in their little crappy boats here. Or not crappy boats, but, special little sails and attachments here.
What is this? What do I know? Is it like the big vast ye landlubbers and the mizzen mast? And
that's what I thought it was going to be.
The big sails, or is it just some guy with a sheet? What's going on?
Well, they're interviewing some guy right now. He's got like Bret Hart style glasses on his forehead, and he's sitting in it's almost like a canoe with a sail in the middle and another canoe on the other side. There's some guy dancing in the stands. This fool. Why are they just showing people? Show the water and the boats.
Wait a minute.
Now they're showing just people looking at the Statue of Liberty, because this is what people want when they watch the show. Here's people taking selfies of themselves looking at the Statue of Liberty. What is this? I
thought that the sailboats are very noble vessels and crafts, and people sail them around various places that boats go, but I thought it was a bigger deal than a fucking sheet in a canoe.
It's not a canoe. I don't know what these are, but they look, actually, now that I see them in action, they look pretty, looks like you could really fuck people up with these. This is awesome. New York SailGP, powered by nature. It's sponsored by Rolex, so they got a good sponsor too.
So there's a bunch of white people buying Rolexes out there with their little fucking pussy sailboats, what you're saying.
SailGP, whatever, I guess that's the brand or the company, SailGP. But back to you and talk about our previous look at what.
Well, let's get back to the outlaws and the midgets.
Oh, here are boats turning over and people falling off them. See, this is what and now they're off of that. All right.
What? They won't show the accidents? I want to see if somebody comes up with a goddamn severed human head or something in the waters off of Manhattan.
Well, I mean, that doesn't. You don't need a race for that.
Well, just a net and a little free time, right?
That's right.
Anyway, back to the racing. We got an email from Jackson Steele. Sounds like he used to be the tag team partner in Calgary of Dixon Cox. But Jackson Steele says, I am the director producer of broadcast for the World of Outlaws NOS energy drink sprint cars under our streaming platform Dirt Vision.
Dirt Vision?
Dirt Vision.
I got the concept, boys. I know how we'll sell it to the public.
I swear to God, I'm not trying to laugh at Jackson and his company here. They're fine people. They use their left and right turn indicators. But just Dirt Vision for some reason struck me. But as a member of the cult of Cornette, he says, and an avid listener of the show, I heard the clip talking about the World of Outlaws documentary. I wanted to provide the backstory and information on what we do. The Extreme Outlaw Midget series is sponsored by Toyota and is a relatively new series focused on up-and-coming racers starting at age 16. Maybe that's why they call it midget racing. They're very short people. No, midget racing is a popular form of dirt racing all across America and is used as a gateway to get to other series such as NASCAR or the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series, which is under the same ownership as the Extreme Outlaw Midgets. The World of Outlaws Sprint Cars is sponsored by NOS Energy Drink. We race over 80 times a year. All across the country from February to November. It could get chilly out there in some parts of the country. Oh, they start in Florida and end in Charlotte. It's going to stay warm there. Where we are based, we're widely regarded as the country's premier dirt racing series. So this is not some outlaw promotion. It's a premier outlaw promotion. And US 36 Raceway in Osborne, Missouri just happens to also be my home track. I grew up about 30 minutes away from there in Savannah, Missouri.
But anyway, you know Savannah?
No, I don't. I guess Savannah is 30 minutes from Osborne, and that's probably about 15 miles from Webb City. You know where Webb City is, don't you, Brian?
No.
That's about halfway up a spider's ass. But anyway, that's an old Bobby Eaton joke. He also says I was able to attend. He's traveling all over with the job, with the races. I was able to attend the Royal Rumble this past year and saw SmackDown in Dallas and even snuck into an AEW show where I was one of the few in the building.
Snuck in?
And well, he wasn't going to pay.
You don't have to pay. They give out free tickets to everyone.
Well, he didn't have time. He just walked in one of the doors that was open with nobody in it.
Do you feel any, not kinship, but any sense of understanding or empathy when you hear from other people in touring industries like that work in 80 shows a year? Obviously, they're on the road. They have their own stars, their own ecosystem, their own fan base. It's different from wrestling, but it's very similar to wrestling.
Well, first you say, I have no empathy for anyone. I'm cold. Cruel. No. Well, you know, it is kind of, it is the same general genre, which is, this is more oriented towards sports, but a traveling sport. And that's the thing about wrestling was it always melded the best parts of old-fashioned sports and entertainment. You could run major arenas and draw big crowds, but there was still an element of vaudeville as much as anything else there. And you could, you know, the live performance and the going on the road and working things out. So yes, all these things have kinships with wrestling and the carnival.
Yeah, basically anyone who could say, and then I left and I joined the circus, even if they didn't join the circus, there's a relationship there.
You know, Randy Hales ran away and joined the circus.
Oh, yeah?
He was in his 40s at the time, but he ran away and joined the circus. No, he did quite well, but he loves to travel.
Weren't there a bunch of guys? Bill Dundee was a part of the circus, wasn't he?
Well, Dundee started, well, Ronnie West did it for a while. Was an advanced man, because he had promoted wrestling promotion. Come see the show, right? And then Dundee did it for quite some time, and then Randy Hales got involved, and did that for forever. But I would talk to him and I'd be like, Jesus, are you ever home? He didn't have a home at the time, not because he was homeless, you know, against his will, but because he didn't need one. He went on the road 9 months a year, just going from the town to town. And then when they went to Florida or where they went, he just went back home and spent time with his mom in Jonesboro, waited for the next season or whatever.
Willingly homeless.
Willingly homeless. Not willingly homely, but willingly homely. Anyway, one more email about the racing, because this is from Dom in Martinsville, Indiana. Because he gives a little bit more background on the fans' appeal rather than just the business that the other email talked about. He says the interest for this sport is mainly centered in rural areas of the country. Not many urban and suburban folks outside of the racing bubble know of its existence, but I can assure you, in these small towns where the tracks are located, they're a very big deal. Attendance can range from 1,500 to 25,000 people at tracks like Knoxville, Iowa. I didn't know there was a Knoxville, Iowa. 25,000 people. And each kind of dirt car exists in its own geographic area. In the South, late models and stock cars fill the tracks. The Northeast has modifieds, and the Midwest has sprint cars. And midgets were created in the 1930s as a smaller, cheaper alternative to sprint car racing. And the name midget is stuck with the class, even though cultural sensitivities and general use of the word has changed over time. It got 4 cylinders instead of 8, blah, blah, blah. Notable midget drivers include Mario Andretti, AJ Foyt, Jeff Gordon, and Kyle Larson.
Along with Sky Lolo, Little Louie, and Julius Sneezer.
And Fuzzy Cupid. Mario Andretti and AJ Foyt were my Uncle Tommy's favorite celebrities in the whole world.
We heard from a lot of people, other than the people upset with your review of the Wyatt 6 debut, we heard from people who thought you were, lying on the air. They said there's no way Jim, growing up in the South, doesn't know what this is. Doesn't know dirt racing, doesn't know anything about this.
Well, let me say, I've heard the term dirt racing. I've never investigated any further to see it actually in use or practice or whatever the fuck. Because I did grow up in Louisville, but Louisville was not exactly a hotbed of dirt racing. And then I was involved in wrestling. What can I say? But I have some, obviously, knowledge of race car driving in general, not only from that being more accessible from the Indianapolis 500 on down and living in Charlotte with the Motor Speedway down there, but also, like I said, if you ask me name a race car driver, I go to Mario Andretti, because that again is who my Uncle Tommy used to talk about. He used to, when we were together as Aunt Lola would come down, Uncle Tommy, my cousins, blah, blah, blah. He'd disappear because he would go out in his car and he'd listen on the car radio on AM stations like WLW Cincinnati. You can still get down here, broadcasting car racing on the radio. And he was fascinated. Can you imagine how fucking boring it had to be to sit in a car in a driveway and listen to car racing and those things lasted for hours, right? But he was hooked. It was as dedicated as any wrestling fan. And, that was his thing. And one night, the race ran long. It got dark. Somebody closed the garage door. We all went to fucking bed. Didn't realize he was still sitting in the car. Yes, he had to knock on the front door to get back in the house. But yes, people can love these things.
Hey, listen, a good radio commentator can make anything good. I love baseball on the radio. I've had good baseball commentators on the radio. There are places that don't. The Yankees, unfortunately, have had some awful commentators on TV and radio. The Mets, we've had good ones. It makes the experience good, intimate, fun, whatever you want to say. There's still something special about sports on the radio.
I don't know if I can listen to car engines randomly rev while an announcer says, well, there's this guy's pulling up, and there's that guy's pulling up, and this guy's been in a lead for 20 fucking laps. And you don't even get to see when somebody hits the wall and flips over and the carburetor lands up some fucking woman's ass.
Did he have money on it?
No. Uncle Tommy wouldn't have bet on anything. He just loved the car racing. I don't know what to tell you, but I'll say one thing, whether it's car racing or dirt racing or horse racing or whatever, in this weather, can you imagine, Brian, 100-degree heat index, those hot fucking engines, there's dirt. It hadn't rained, the dirt's turning into dust, it's spraying on the spectators, 25,000 people in a cornfield in Iowa watching all this go on. Can you imagine what you would smell like when you get out of there?
I hadn't thought of it. Now that you say that, it's not a pretty scent.
Oh my God, you would smell like a man eating from under cheese in a septic tank of a slaughterhouse.
Ugh.
It would gag a maggot off a gut wagon. The only thing, folks, that I can tell you that you need to do is, if you have not thought of this already, if you plan to attend some good, high-level, low-quality dirt racing at your local facility, and you're going to be out there in the mud and the blood and the beer, and there's bulls jumping over the rails at some of these rodeos and things. You can't imagine what that might smell like. You think when that bull jumped over that rail, those people didn't shit themselves? And then somebody's got to come along and clean all that shit up off the goddamn bleachers, as long with the blood and the beer.
Hey, we heard from a bunch of people, too. They're like, no, Brian, bulls are colorblind. They don't actually see red. It's the movement of the flag or whatever. Okay, go tell that to the woman in red who got fucking gored.
Yeah. But besides that, it may not be the color. You know what it probably is? The fucking smell. Oh. Your stinky ass is out there in 100 degrees. And you're sweating. Can you imagine what your pits and your packages and your various butt cracks and crevices and folds and creases and chasms?
All right.
And chasms.
Okay,
how do you say that?
We got it.
You can't imagine what they smell. You know how you need to prep now?
No.
With our friends at Mando's. Our friends at Shop Mando, that's Mando, because they're new. You're going to hear about them a lot soon from us, folks, because they are taking the odor out of the stench that is modern life, because they can prep you to where you can go and you can swim around in the Manhattan East River there, right off the Bronx and the Hudson River line. You will be in a fresh-smelling state of mind, because you can rub all this shit on you. I'm telling you. Because Mando's, let me just explain this to you.
What the hell is happening in this race?
Well, they were created by a doctor. I say these products, Mando's as a whole, Mando's created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated.
Sounds like a Svengoolie intro.
Well, no, let's say that you go into a typical emergency room or urgent care facility in the United States of America today, and you say, "Doctor, I fucking smell like shit." They're going to misdiagnose you. They're going to mistreat you. They're probably going to maltreat you. They don't know what's going on because it hasn't been sufficiently studied until this far-seeing visionary saw that most people were being shamed. They would go in the emergency room and they'd say, "I smell like shit." And the people would say, "You're right, go home." That would be the treatment. But now there are products to prevent this kind of heartbreak from going on. The Mando whole body deodorant is powerful enough for the toughest body odor, but gentle enough for you to use everywhere, including, now some people, you can put this stuff on any of your I think you can wipe your eyes with it. You just scrub on your corneas. It's non-inflammatory. It's aluminum-free, baking soda-free, cruelty-free. When you use these products, ladies and gentlemen, some of these fine items I'm about to talk to you about, it will take the cruelty away. You will be incapable of being cruel to people, because these are cruelty-free and they're dye-free. You won't change any colors. And as we mentioned, they're vegan-free, so you won't have the sudden urge to turn into a vegan. And they are clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone. Have I told you about the Grundle level, Brian?
No, the Grundle level, no.
The Grundle, I mentioned it, I think, on the drive-thru. The Grundle level is how that they measure smells. Because those Grundles, especially the ones that have not been domesticated, they've got horrible habits and they just poop and piss about everywhere and vomit on themselves. So they measure in a Grundle level of the average man's level of their stench. 12 hours after a shower was a 5 out of 10, but if you use Mando, it's a 0 out of 10. What more proof do you need? Right there is the theory of relativity as far as stench goes. And the Mando starter pack is perfect for the new customers because it's got the solid stick deodorant, the cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like the body wash, the deodorant. Look here, these deodorant wipes right here for pits, packages, and feet. hermetically sealed, and you can pull this resealable tab and, oh, your crotch will smell like I'm sniffing them. Oh, God damn you. Ah. Okay. I'm telling you, your crotch will smell like a bed of pretty flowers. And right here is the Mando Whole Body Odor Shield 72-hour odor control invisible cream deodorant. For pits, packages, and feet, I'm going to put a dollop of this on my foot that's hurting me. Oh, shit. Brian, I can't see my foot. The invisible cream deodorant. Oh, shit. I shouldn't have put...
All right, but anyway. It doesn't make you invisible, ladies and gentlemen. It is cream that is not with color. It's not really truly invisible, I guess.
Well, it will be pretty soon when your whole fucking leg disappears, but I'm trying to get into the acidified cleansing bar. God damn, this cardboard is... There we go. And just smell this right here, Brian. Here, I'll hold it up. Smell that. Oh, the whole room, you can smell it now. That's what takes the odor away, is the incredible craftsmanship of this bar of soap that removes and controls odor without stripping your skin. So right here, you've got it from the people at Mando. You can smell better without having to rip your skin off. And there's a variety of other things. This stick deodorant, I'll tell you, it's smooth, solid, and it's also apparently endorsed by Mr. Fuji. Oh, no, that's Mount Fuji.
It's not endorsed by Mount Fuji. It's Mount Fuji scent.
What does Mount Fuji smell like?
Oh, it's a wonderful aroma of clouds and...
What do they have? Cherry blossoms lining the... Oh, well, there you go. Well, no, yeah, no wonder. That doesn't smell anything like somebody's fucking crotch. All right. Well, anyway, what you can do right now is you can see for yourself what I'm telling you, folks, that this stuff is the best smelling stuff. As a matter of fact, it's mouth-watering. I'm salivating smelling this stuff. It smells better than a fresh fried cheeseburger. And you can smell wonderful also across your whole body, from the pits and the packages and the feet, and they've got stuff for your hair and everything in between. And who knows, maybe they've got a mouthwash. But if you want to get $5 off one of these starter packs, all you've got to do is go to shopmando, shopmando.com, shopmando.com, $5 off a starter pack. That's 40% off. And that's impressive. I can't do the math to explain it, but it's impressive. If you use the code JCE, JCE is the code at shopmando.com, $5 off the starter pack. That's 40% off the regular price, because we know you and we want you to smell a lot better, just as a society, people.
That's right. Be one of society with Mando. Smell good, even in the crowd of a wrestling show. One more time. What's that promo code, Jim?
Well, it could be wrestling. It could be dirt racing. It could be sewer cleansing or septic tank pumping. We're not going to discriminate. You know what they ought to do over there at shopmando.com, promo code JCE? They ought to sponsor a deal where they take a guy and they stick him in a septic tank for a week. And then they let him out and they give him a full wash down and deodorizing with these products and see what he smells like.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good idea, but once again, what's that promo code, Jim?
JCE. If you're volunteering for this contest, I'll sponsor it. If we get somebody,
there's no contest. There's no contest to volunteer.
Well, no, I'm going to sponsor it. If somebody wants to volunteer to spend 7 days in my septic tank and then get fucking hosed down with all these products, then I'll pay them $500.
Sounds like a good deal. What's your home address?
Well, you can just email and with your specifics, and we'll get back to you. $500 cash money, minus certain state withholding. If you'll spend 7 days in my septic tank and then deodorize with Mandos and let's take a sniff of you.
All right.
All righty then.